christiangeekcentral.com.
Hold still! You lied to me!
In my face! In the face!
Put it in the peanut butter.
In my face! I thought you said this guy was a Christian. What is this?
Liberate tu te me.
This is a short topic, so I'll be doing something else real soon, but it's just the age-old question of DC versus Marvel. Which do I prefer? It might seem like a no-brainer if you've been, if you've listened to my reviews or watched my reviews of the Marvel movies, like, well, obviously Pater doesn't like Marvel. Well, that's not the case. I can get, there's another topic on here that if I roll it, I'll get into the Marvel movies and get into that a little bit more, but I seriously have nothing against Marvel. DC got to me first, and my dislike with the Marvel movies has nothing to do with, really me being, preferring DC, and I don't wildly prefer DC. They just kind of got to me first. I saw Super Friends when I was a little kid, and Green Lantern stuck out to me when I saw that. I was like, dude, this guy can just make stuff that he can think up? That's amazing. And I used to get my dad's class ring from his college class ring and put it on my middle finger, and pretend to be Green Lantern. And then for years I forgot about that hero, and then kind of rediscovered and remembered him in junior high, and bought a trade paperback when they were kind of rebooting Hal Jordan. And the story was called Green Lantern Emerald Dawn, which I still think is a good story. I mean, the art just looks a bit dated, but I still think it's a cool introduction to Green Lantern. And I was thinking about this earlier as I was looking at these topics again before the stream started, because I wanted to kind of be ready to talk about any of them. And I kind of thought to myself, well, what is it about the DC characters, apart from the fact that they got to me first, that kind of keeps me a little bit more leaning in their direction? Not a ton in their direction, because I still really enjoy the X-Men movies, and the Wolverine movies. Yes, even X-Men Origins Wolverine. I found a lot to enjoy in that. Part of it might be their origin stories and their power sets. I don't know. Yeah, all this to say, if I can say one thing loud and clear about the DC versus Marvel topic, I really do not greatly prefer one over the other. I'm not a passionate, DC defender, and I'm not a Marvel hater at all. If a comic or a movie about a superhero is written in a way that I like, and is executed in a way that I like, that's much more important than whether or not they're part of the DC universe or the Marvel universe. Much more important. But I do lean a little bit toward the DC universe, and so, as I said, I think part of that is because they got to me first. I was just exposed to those heroes first. I do like the origin stories of a lot of the DC characters. I like the freak accidents, freak accidents. I love the Flash getting his powers by being struck by lightning mixed with a vat of chemicals. I liked the power concept of Green Lantern because I really enjoy the imagination and creativity and exercising my own imagination and creativity, and so the idea that they're, of somebody that's only limited by their imagination, that's way too cool. I like very powerful characters as well, which is why for many years I really wasn't into Batman. I liked, Flash, especially when Mark Waid took over and created this, I think it was he that created the idea of the Speed Force, and just opened up the possibilities of the Flash. Then, the Flash became, my number 2 favorite character. But, a lot of Marvel's characters, they did in later years kind of amp up, give them the Speed Force treatment, where they take one simple power and then apply it in a variety of creative ways to kind of represent a wider power spectrum. But for a long time, there was just mutants. They all had the same origin. Nothing happened. They just got powers one day. They got older and got powers, and then their powers were often very simple, just kind of one note. I felt like that was my impression of them at the time. But I think probably a lot, as I think about it now, can be attributed to DC just got to me first. They were the known quantity, and so I was more interested in learning more about them. So that was a short topic, but I don't really have much more to say on it. DC got to me first. Have you read the comic Super Sons? It's about the adventures of Batman's and Superman's sons. I've heard of this. This is a current running series, right? that's about Damian Wayne and Clark Kent's son. I haven't, because conceptually it's not my thing. I mean, I guess if I found out Gail Simone was writing it, I feel like she can write the phone book and turn it into a compelling character drama. Then maybe I'd give it a shot. But I don't like Damian Wayne. I don't like him as a character. And I don't like Batman having a biological son. I feel like there's something about the tragedy of Batman that's lost the more family he has. Yeah, so there's something about that I don't like. Maybe I could be won over, but it gives me feelings I don't like. And when it comes to aesthetics and art, that's the one place where I would say, yeah, you follow your heart on that, you know? If you don't like something, that's okay. If you like something, great. And then Superman having a son, I kind of like the idea of Superman having a son. I'm not sure if I like the idea of him going out and doing superheroic things. They age the children of superheroes, I think, way too quickly in comics. There's so much that could be gained. They did this with Wally West, too, when he got kids. They got them all out of the picture, they did some time junk, and about a year and a half later or so, they brought him back, the kids were older. And he was going on superheroic adventures with them. No. I would much rather the story still be focused on the adult hero, the dad or the mom, whichever the case may be, and the feelings that they have about doing what they do when they have a family at home that they also need to be investing time in, and they need to be thinking about, and they need to be protecting. Bring the psychology, the relatable and everyday real psychology of a parent into the superhero comic and the responsibilities of a parent. The problem with that is, I think comic book writers and publishers are increasingly trying to capture that younger crowd, and I think that they assume, possibly rightly, that the younger crowd is not going to be interested in a story that's that much from a parental viewpoint. But that's a shame, and I think that says something about the decreasing value of the family in Western culture. That we just aren't as interested in having families, in becoming families, in settling down and having a wife and children, and we just don't on the popular level, we don't value those things, and we don't relate to them, we don't think they're cool, we don't honor them. So that's a shame, because I think there's so many great stories, intense and worthwhile stories that could be told. It's the same thinking, I think, that assumes that once characters get married, then no more interesting stories can result because there won't be any tension in the relationship. Are you kidding me? I've been married for 14 years. 14 and a half now. And there's plenty of drama. There's plenty of tension that can result. There's plenty of hard conversations that need to have happen. And yeah, you may not have the drama of, like, will they get divorced, all the time, but it still really sucks to live in a home with unresolved conflict, and that can just mess up your day, can mess up your outlook on life. There's so much great drama and so many new kinds of stories with emotional ups and downs that could be told in comics if storytellers in those mediums would prioritize... Oh crap, this guy's coming after me. Prioritize families more. Hey, just a reminder that this humble little YouTube channel is so dependent on people just like you. There are 3 main ways you can support this channel, and they're all over at spiritblade.com. The first is to purchase one of our sci-fi or fantasy audio dramas. Second is to give us a donation of any amount. And third, you can become a Spirit Blade insider and get access to exclusive, behind-the-scenes monthly goodies. You can get more information on our About page over at spiritblade.com. Thanks so much.